आदल्या काळात सिनेमांचे पोस्टर्स हे खंय तरी हँडक्राफ्टेड असताले आणि खूप बारीकसाणेन लक्ष दिवन सगळ्या डिटेलांचेर हे पोस्टर तयार करताले. ताची तयार करपाची पद्धत खूप वेगळी आशिल्ली आणि हीच पद्धत लोकांक दाखोवपा खातीर बॉबीज आर्ट अँड लिव्हिंग हांणी एक एक्झिबिशन आयोजीत केल्लें आसा. तांच्या एक्झिबिशनान नेमकें कितें आसा हें आमी नजर मारया आनी एक्झिबिशना विशीं जाणून घेवया.
Hi, my name is Raghav Kohli. I run an art store here in Goa, and we're doing an exhibition on Indian cinema here at the Sadhna Del Art in Mercis. It's titled The Icons of Indian Cinema, and we have here some of the iconic movies of Indian cinema. Of course, we start with Sholay and Mother India, and we have over here on display film posters, lobby cards, and song synopses. These range from the 1940s to the 1980s, and we'll take a look. So over here we have film posters. Now the design of film posters has also undergone a lot of change in the last few decades. Earlier they were the hand-painted ones, and they were very skilled artists, such as starting with Raj Kapoor's films, Guru Dutt's films. Then of course they started using photographic stills for posters, and now of course everything is digital, everything is online. One of Raj Kapoor's earlier films, this silsila is still a relatively recent, 70s film. Then we have Guru Dutt here. Over here we have lobby cards and song synopses. This of course is very popular artwork from Guide, which was a very successful film not only in India but also abroad. In fact, I believe they wanted to make it as an English language film, but then they ended up making it a Hindi language film. They also made a remake in America, and Dev Anand wanted to cast Wahida Rehman in that film, but they cast someone else, and unfortunately the remake didn't do so well. This is a song synopsis of Devi by Satyajit Ray, which is I believe one of Sharmila Tagore's earlier, if not first film. I think she was a teenager at the time. This is Kabuliwala, Tapan Sinha's Kabuliwala, which also screened at the film festival in Goa this year. Now these lobby cards, they were printed to display in the lobbies of theatres at the time of the film's release. They were made in sets of 8 or 16, and so each lobby card as part of a set would depict a different scene in the film. Scenes which they considered important, and they will have the name of the film and some credits such as the director, producer, actor, etc. Over here we have hand-colored lobby cards, which have been colored by hand. So these are actually quite rare and quite treasured by collectors. These are cinema stills from the films, black and white ones. Yes. Here we have some more lobby cards. Aradhana, Rajesh Khanna and Sharmila Tagore. Obviously Rishi Kapoor's debut film, Bobby. And a lot of Amitabh Bachchan, who of course is one of the most popular ones, if not the most popular one. So over here in this room, we've displayed our large format posters. So the standard size of the film poster was 30 inches by 40 inches. They also come in a smaller size, 20 inches by 30 inches. These are the larger ones. Guru Dutt's film Kagaz Ke Phool. Again, a lot of the artwork on the posters is very interesting. For example, on this one, they also have mentioned some lyrics here on the poster in Hindi, which I find very interesting. This is Captain Kishore, film by Homi Wadia, who worked a lot with Fearless Nadia at the time. She's not in this one, but this is, I believe, 1957, this film. This is a poster of Satyajit Ray's Devi. Uh, it was made somewhere in the 50s. I believe Satyajit Ray did a lot of the artwork on his promotional material himself because he was very skilled as an artist, graphic designer, also a calligraphy artist. Raj Kapoor in Shri 420. Of course, he was inspired a lot by Charlie Chaplin, as you see in his song and dance in the film. Over here, we have some more posters. Raj Kapoor, Dilip Kumar, Nargis, Madhubala. Sorry. These are interesting because these are actually hand-colored lobby cards. So here we have Vinod Khanna film titled Sevak. This is an interesting one because it's hand-colored and also it's got a cutout of a photograph pasted on the cardboard. So it's almost like a collage, a hand-colored collage. So a lot of the artwork on a lot of the promotional material back in the day was very interesting. This is Rajesh Khanna film Chela Babu. We have two Barsat posters. This film came out, I believe, in the late 40s. One of his earlier films. Over here we have Apur Sansar, which is part of Satyajit Ray's Apu trilogy. I think it's the last one in his trilogy. Also the music was by Ravi Shankar, which is interesting. And finally we have some song synopsis booklets here. Now, before we had movie trailers, this was the primary form of promotion for all films. So they would make these booklets and they would have them in theatre during the screening and otherwise distribute them. So these booklets now, they will actually have the lyrics of all the songs, and then of course they will have some stills from the movie and all the information such as crew, cast, etc. And sometimes often even a description of the film. So we have about a few hundred of these synopses here on display. Oh, it was of course very difficult. It's a lost art now. I mean, people spent a lot of time doing these things. Now everybody wants everything instantly. For example, one way of promoting a film back in the day in Bombay was to make the murals on the walls, which to me is very interesting because everybody who goes by sees that. And of course, they would spend days, weeks painting that. Of course, that is a lost art now. Personally, the collection was started by my father about 30 years back, and he started the collection. I've been doing this for the last 10 years or so now. I mean, now it's my business. My dad is sort of retired, but of course, I mean, I would also urge people who have these things in their houses to not discard them, to not throw them away, because there are museums who will take them in. There's a lot of people doing a lot of conservation work, good conservation work in India for all of this. So perhaps people might consider donating to them. Well, for example, on the film posters, the paper is very brittle. So sometimes when you're pulling it out, even the paper will just tear in your hand. So it is important to keep them properly. Storage is a big problem. A lot of these are kept in warehouses or forgotten about. So rats will eat them, moisture will go through them. So of course, for example, the way we keep them is we keep every poster separately in a plastic film like that, backed by a cardboard board. So that's one way to conserve them, and of course, if you lock them away, then moisture is going to eat at them. So if you don't have room to do that at home, then of course I would say give it to a museum, give it to a conservation space. I think it's important for everyone who's interested in films, even to just watch films or as a film lover, to sort of see the history of Indian cinema, because it's not just the films that were made. A lot of it is, there's a lot of stories here. A lot of things you can understand by looking at the artworks, for example. So I would urge people to do a deep dive in Indian cinema and also look at the promotional material, because there's a lot to learn.